Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're really digging into what gives people that edge, discovering what truly separates those who succeed from those who are, well, just participating.
Yeah.
Ever wonder how champions are really made? Because it seems pretty clear they aren't just born that way. So today we're diving into this really interesting guide, kind of a success manual for trainers and athletes called Stay in the Game. It's by Henrik and Eva Johansson. And look, this isn't about like quick fixes or social media hype. It's deeper. It gets into mindset, that internal engine, right? The thing that fuels preparation, discipline, and how you perform when things get tough.
Yeah, and they hit you with a core idea right from the start. It's talent might open the door, but training decides who walks through it and stays. That really sets the stage. It's this foundational belief, and they're blunt about it too, saying you won't rise to the occasion when the moment comes. You'll fall to the level of your training.
Wow, okay. So no magic moments, just the level you've built.
Exactly. It's saying performance is basically an echo of all that work you put in beforehand.
Okay, so our mission here is pretty clear then. We want to pull out the most important nuggets of wisdom from this material, help you sharpen that mental edge, maybe reinforce some good habits, and really get your actions lined up with your goals because, like they say, every rep, every choice, every day counts. And that really leads straight into this core truth. It's so simple but powerful. You are never better than you trained. It's almost brutally honest, isn't it? But it applies everywhere. Sports, gym, school, life, you name it. Your performance under pressure, how you adapt. It's all a reflection of the work you did when nobody was watching.
Precisely. And the manual makes it clear that a champion's mindset isn't just something you have. It's, and I quote, forged in repetition, discomfort, and quiet hours when no one is watching. We see the highlights, the big moments, but the real work, the thing that actually raises your baseline level, that happens in the grind.
So it's about lifting that everyday standard, basically.
Yeah, raising it with purpose, with intention. So when the pressure does hit, you're already operating at a higher level. You don't suddenly have to find it.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, as we dig deeper, the manual throws a bit of a curveball, talking about inner strength. It sets up this kind of mental duel, willpower versus still power. We all know willpower, right? Pushing hard, fighting through pain, never giving up. It's about force, effort.
Right, and willpower is absolutely essential. You need it for training, for pushing those boundaries. But, and this is where it gets really interesting, they introduce still power as equally vital but often missed. So willpower says push harder, but still power. It's more like stay cool, let it happen.
Let it happen, okay.
Yeah, because think about it. How often do people fail? Not because they lack skill, but because they try too hard, they overthink, they get nervous. Still power is about accessing that calm focus.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah.
Like the examples they give.
Oh, yeah.
You pick her making a winning field goal or a tennis player on match point. That feeling of forcing it, gritting your teeth, that's willpower. But that smooth, almost effortless execution where your body just knows what to do, that's the still power.
Exactly. It's like when you're trying desperately to remember something, and the harder you try, the further away it gets.
Yeah, total brain freeze.
That's kind of like a willpower overload, maybe? The manual frames it as this crucial balance. Train with willpower, perform with still power.
Train with willpower, perform with still power.
Okay, because trying to force it under pressure, that just creates tension. Tight muscles, clouded mind, you start playing not to lose.
Right, and that's when the mistakes creep in.
Yeah, and it's not because the training wasn't good enough, it's because the mind got in the way. Still power is like being in the zone, trusting your training, letting it flow.
So for everyone listening, think about where this applies in your life. Big presentation, difficult conversation, anytime overthinking is the enemy.
And the manual gives practical ways to build it. It's not just theory. Things like deep breathing to calm yourself down. Not fighting thoughts, just breathing. Also, using a mantra like, trust your training, I've done the work. Simple, but powerful. And letting go of the outcome. Focusing just on the very next step, being present. They even suggest just practicing stillness for 5 or 10 minutes a day, just letting things settle.
So these are actual tools you can practice.
Yeah, and they stress that mental mistakes, the ones that happen in the moment, you can really only fix those with still power. Willpower built the foundation, still power lets you perform on it.
That distinction is huge. Willpower for training, still power for performing. And that leads nicely into their idea about comfort zones. We always hear no pain, no gain, or get out of your comfort zone. But the manual suggests that pushing too hard too fast can actually backfire.
Right, it can make you grip too tight. second guess yourself, lose that intuition we just talked about with still power.
So what's the alternative then?
Instead of forcing yourself out of your comfort zone, they say you need to grow your comfort zone day by day from the inside out.
Grow it from the inside out.
Okay, how?
Growth happens at the edge. Not in chaos, not in panic, but right at the edge of your current ability. Think of your skill set like a rink or a playing field.
Okay.
When you stretch yourself properly, consistently, that space you operate in comfortably actually gets bigger.
Yeah.
You get under more pressure, see things clearer.
So it's about expanding, not just leaping out.
Exactly.
Right.
Gradual, deliberate expansion.
So the strategies they suggest follow that logic, like stretch, don't snap.
Precisely. Challenge yourself, yes, but don't push so hard you break down or burn out. Practice at game speed, sure, but stay in control, stay sharp. Push just past comfort, not way out into panic territory.
Makes sense. It sounds more sustainable.
And it emphasizes repetition. Really own a new skill before you add speed or complexity or pressure. Let the body learn it naturally. Then you layer things on. And they advise playing curious, not tight.
Curious, not tight. What does that mean? Like always asking, what can I learn here? How can I adapt? Curiosity breeds confidence. Tension breeds mistakes. They quote Shea Weber, the hockey player. The game slows down when you've done the work. If it feels rushed, you haven't earned the time yet.
Wow. That really hits home. Earning the time. That connects back to the training level idea.
It all ties together. That gradual growth applied everywhere, right? Learning anything new, really. Work skills, personal challenges. It's about consistent, smart steps.
Definitely. Okay, so moving on from how we train and perform under pressure, the manual pivots to something equally fundamental: self-awareness. They're really clear on this. If you want to train smarter, play better, and grow faster, you must understand yourself first. And this isn't just about like your position on a team or your stats. It's deeper mindset, personality, how you actually learn best.
Yeah, they talk about introverts and extroverts, but not in the usual shy versus loud way. It's about where you get your energy from being alone or being around people. And both styles have huge strengths. A quiet player might lead by intense focus and example. An extrovert might energize the whole group. Knowing what you are helps you manage your energy, your recovery, how you prepare.
Okay, so knowing your energy source. What else?
Learning styles. They break it down into three main types. Visual learners. They need to see it. Video, diagrams, watching demos. They remember what they saw.
Right.
Auditory learners. They get it from hearing. Coaches' explanations, regressions, feedback. They remember what they heard.
Makes sense. And the third.
Kinesthetic learners. They need to do it. Reps, drills, feeling the movement. They remember how it felt.
So visual, auditory, kinesthetic, see, hear, feel.
Exactly. And the real magic happens when you combine this with knowing your introversion, extroversion. So maybe you're a visual introvert. You might learn best watching film alone, really analyzing it quietly. Auditory extrovert. Maybe you need to talk through plays with the coach or teammates to really get it. Kinesthetic learner, maybe more introverted. You might just want more reps, less talk, focusing on the physical execution. The key takeaway is powerful. Know yourself, play your style, train your way.
It's about tailoring the approach, not forcing everyone into the same box.
Precisely, unlocking your potential authentically.
Okay, but even with all this self-knowledge and tailored training, sometimes that motivation just dips, right? We all feel it. The manual has a really interesting take on this.
It does. It basically says you already have all the motivation you need. The real question is, motivated to do what and why?
Motivated to do what and why?
Yeah.
Okay, unpack that a bit.
If you feel unmotivated, they argue, it's probably because you're disconnected from your why. You've lost touch with your core reason for doing whatever it is you're doing. So activating motivation isn't about finding some external spark. It's about reconnecting consciously with your reason. Is it to win, to improve, to support the team, build confidence just for the joy of it?
It has to be your why, not someone else's.
Exactly. It needs to resonate deep down.
And the book goes beyond just performance, right? It talks about character, balance, the whole person.
Absolutely. There's a whole section on sports and school, but the principle is universal. Being a good, solid person off the field or outside of your main pursuit, it matters a lot. Coaches, bosses, mentors, they look at the whole picture. Grades, how you treat people, reliability. Strong teams, strong organizations are built on that foundation.
So character is key.
It is. The manual says strong character is your greatest strength, and then adds, and gratitude is one of the strongest forms of character there is. Remembering and honoring the people who helped you get where you are.
That's powerful. Gratitude is a strength.
Yeah.
And this idea of foundation leads into another big concept they explore, trust.
Yes, trust with a capital T. They present it as this multi-layered foundation. Super important.
Okay, what are the layers?
3 key levels. First, trust yourself. That internal voice saying, I've done the work, I'm ready, mistakes happen, they teach me, they don't define me. That's core confidence.
Right, self-trust.
Second, trust your coach or your mentor, your leader. Really listening, asking questions, understanding their perspective, even when it's tough feedback, believing they have your best interests and the team's at heart.
Okay, trust the guidance.
And third, trust your team, playing your role fully, supporting others, being someone your teammates can count on consistently.
Yourself, your coach, your team.
When all 3 are strong, that trust makes everything work better. Faster, smoother, more resilient.
And this ties right back into habits, doesn't it? They have that line, how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Oh yeah, that's a huge one in the manual. Your habits are your foundation. Excellence isn't just something you do sometimes, it's a habit you cultivate. And building those good habits, that builds trust with yourself. You start relying on discipline, not just hoping for motivation to show up.
So the small things really add up.
Massively. Showing up early, cleaning your space, giving full attention. These seem small, but they shape who you become. They build your identity. If you cut corners in one place...
It gets easier to cut them everywhere.
Exactly. But doing the right thing consistently, even when it's unseen, that builds real competence and self-belief.
And this focus on individual habits then connects directly to teamwork. They say, together is better team lasts when individuals fall.
Yeah, it's not just about your own growth. True success, especially in teams, happens when people bring their best for each other. Teams fall apart, they argue, often because of small things being ignored. One person's slacking off, blaming others, ego getting in the way.
So the solution starts with you.
It has to. Your habits as a teammate. Showing up prepared, working hard, encouraging others, owning your role, contributing positively. They make a great point. You don't have to be the best player on the team, but you must be the best teammate you can be.
That's a really powerful distinction. Be the best teammate. Okay, so we've covered mindset, training, self-awareness, motivation, trust, habits, teamwork. But the manual goes even further into holistic well-being.
It does. It looks at things like fuel, emphasizing that food isn't just calories, it's information for your body and brain.
Information. How so?
It directly impacts your training, your recovery, your focus, your energy, even your mood. Think about that afternoon slump or brain fog, often tied to what you ate.
Right. Garbage in, garbage out, basically.
Kind of, they put it starkly. Train like an athlete, time to eat like one too. It's about fueling for performance, whatever your performance might be, a workout, a presentation, a creative session.
Fuel is information. I like that. Then there's this really intriguing concept, the power place. They call it systemic daydreaming.
Isn't that great? Systemic daydreaming. It's not just letting your mind wander. It's creating a structured, personalized virtual space in your mind.
Like a mental room.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe as a whiteboard for planning, a comfy chair for relaxing, a screen for visualizing success. You build it how you want.
And the purpose.
It's your go-to mental sanctuary, a place to calm down, focus, rehearse mentally, organize thoughts, practice stillness, and you can access it anywhere, anytime. Bus, office, home.
So it's turning daydreaming into a deliberate tool for focus and self-regulation.
Precisely. Daydreaming is power of thoughts with direction. That's their line, giving your inner world structure and purpose.
Very cool. And finally, they touch on values, your inner compass.
Right. What truly matters most to you, not what you think should matter, but what genuinely guides your choices, especially the tough ones. Your values show up in how you live, how you train, how you compete. They keep you grounded, resilient, true to yourself, even when results aren't great or things get difficult. They're your anchor.
Knowing what you stand for, essentially.
Exactly.
Now, the manual wraps up with this broader message, initially for young athletes in Latvia, but it feels universal.
It really does. It frames sports or any focused pursuit as a training ground for life. It teaches you how to strive, how to focus, how to lead, how to fail, and, crucially, how to get back up. It builds character, discipline, respect, confidence.
So it's building better people, not just better players or workers.
That's the core idea. Transforming individuals into stronger leaders, better teammates, more engaged citizens, contributing positively to society. It's bigger than just the game or the task.
And that final message they offer really sums it up. Train hard, play with heart, respect the people who support you, and believe that every drop of sweat, every lesson learned, and every moment of joy brings us one step closer to a stronger future.
Wow.
Okay, so wrapping this deep dive up, we've covered a lot from Stay in the Game. That dynamic between willpower and still power, that's huge. The idea of growing your comfort zone gradually, not snapping, knowing your unique style, introvert, extrovert, learning type.
Right. And finding motivation by connecting to your why.
Yeah, and the absolute bedrock of character, trust, habits, and even things like fuel and managing your inner space. It's really holistic.
It is. And Henrik and Eva Johansson's core message seems to be about training not just to win, but to become.
Yeah.
And they stress honesty in that process. No shortcuts, no pretending. Be honest. Train in a way that you can trust mentally, physically, and personally. It's about integrity through and through.
So as we finish up, here's something to think about. Knowing your own style, your deeper why. What's one small, consistent step you can take starting today? A step to really align your training, whatever that looks like for you, with the person you truly want to become. Not just in your sport or job, but in everything.